Yep, it's live.
We're live. Only a little bit late today, but technically 24
we're
hours
only
late.
24 hours late today.
Yeah, well, actually, we're a little bit later than that. It's more like 26 hours because the game was around 8 o'clock. Sorry. I meant to mention this on the show on Wednesday night, but I had a thing I had to go do yesterday, and I was not able to make the podcast. And Mikey emailed me and brought up a very good point. It's like, of course, the one good Thursday night game all year we actually miss.
Yeah, man, that game was crazy.
Dude, how about the freaking Texans though? For all their woes this year, they're 6-5.
I picked
Davis
the Texans
Mills.
to win last game. I picked them to win.
I did not.
Well, I did.
Speaking of which, we're going to do the rest of our predictions at some point during the podcast here. But obviously, this podcast isn't going to be as long as the normal one because it's, there's not a whole game to do. So we're just going to talk about Saints stuff and Bengals stuff and NFL stuff. But we're not going to like get super deep into we're not going to get like 4 hours deep into it. Kyle's late, no shock here. Oh shit. The chat thing is too high up because I don't have the overlay right now. How do I move that? Why can't I move that? What the fuck?
Professionalism.
I'm just there we go. It was just black on my face. It looks weird. Okay. Sorry. We we're only a few minutes late to this show, but obviously being late to weren't able to get on yesterday because I had parent teacher conference I had to go to. Anyway, boy, we got to play the fucking Patriots this week without Jamar Chase, who's suspended. Maybe with Joe Burrow, though, interestingly enough. Joe Burrow might be playing this week.
I saw that earlier. So.
Early for what, Richard? What's the score prediction for Patriots at Cincy game? I'd say Pats win 43-17. No, I think our offense will be better than that.
Like they'll score at least 20.
Yeah, I think the offense will be okay. If Joe Burrow plays, I think the offense, even without Jamar Chase, I don't think it really matters if Joe Burrow's back there. I've been saying, a lot of people have been saying, like, Joe Burrow doesn't play defense. What's the point in do I recognize that score? No, I don't recognize that score, Richard. But a lot of people have been saying, what's the point in Joe Burrow playing because he doesn't play defense? But I will say, with Jamar Chase out, Joe Burrow probably actually makes a difference because, I don't know if Joe Flacco is going to be able to really run the offense as smoothly as he's been running it without Jamar Chase to throw the ball to. If he's got to, improvise and throw to Mitch Tensley and stuff like that, that seems like more of a Joe Burrow type of thing that he has done many times before against the Browns and such.
Joe Burrow's just there for vibes.
Well, he's there because he's an insane human being, but absolutely mind-boggling. Y'all play the Falcons this week, right?
We do. I couldn't be happier.
What if you lose?
But we're not going to, though. That's the thing.
I didn't say.
We're basically on two. We have literally a bye week and then another bye week, man. It's so beautiful.
Right,
2 weeks ago, you don't have the stress of your team failure.
Right. But I'm not saying you're going to lose. I'm saying hypothetically. Well,
hypothetically, us losing is the same probability of me losing both of my arms and legs on the same incident. It's not gonna happen.
If y'all do lose, I'm gonna play that clip next week.
Do it. I'm just setting myself up. But nah, man. We're not gonna lose. But if we do somehow lose, which ain't gonna happen, but if we do hypothetically 1% lose, then
Apparently,
4-9. It's basically a win-win for us at this point.
Apparently 43-17 is what the Patriots beat us by in 2018 when the Bengals got off to a really good start that season. And then the Patriots got out to a bad start. And Bill Belichick famously just kept repeating in his press conference, we're on to Cincinnati. And everybody was like, oh, I think the Patriots are done. And we Bengals fans were like, we're feeling really good. We got a really good start to the season. And then the Patriots stomped us, and we just looked like garbage the whole rest of the season.
Yeah, I remember that now.
Or was that? I think that was 2018. Might have been a different season. I don't know. But that was
2019. I know 2019 is the year where it's like I think the Bengals were winning at
it
like
wasn't
halftime against the Patriots, and then y'all got blown out.
It definitely was not 2019.
I'm not saying it was. I remember y'all played in 2019, the year that y'all went 2-14, and I remember I think you were winning either at halftime or you were winning for a big part of the first half, and then y'all got blown out.
That sounds like the Bengals in 2019. That I don't remember, but that does kind of sound like the Bengals 2019. But anyway, the biggest difference. Oh, it was 2014. That's what I was thinking. It might be 2014. And then we went on to like kind of collapse, and then like we did make the playoffs, but we kind of got embarrassed by the Colts. I remember that. No, it wasn't. Nice. It was bad.
In the playoffs.
That was the Andrew Luck Colts, I believe.
We never lost to the Colts in the playoffs. Just saying.
Yeah, okay, Mikey.
God, we actually beat the Colts in the playoffs in the biggest game of the year.
That's not the playoffs, though.
Yes, it is.
No, that's outside of the playoffs.
No, the playoffs lead to the Super Bowl,
aka the Super Bowl is a separate entity than the playoffs. I think.
How do you get to the Super Bowl?
You have to go through the playoffs, but then the playoffs end, and you play the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
That's my point. You but the Saints never beat the Colts in the playoffs.
You did.
No, you didn't because
Would you agree that your house is on the street that you live in?
No, it's actually behind the street.
What? Okay,
That's my point. That's my house. The road leads to my house, but my house is not actually physically on the street.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But anyway, the point I was going to make was that, the Patriots stomped us after being shut out by the Chiefs, and that was, embarrassing and everything like that. The biggest difference is the Bengals were having a really good season up to that point, and right now it's the complete opposite. Like, except for the fact that I don't think we're about to go stomp the Patriots or anything, but it would require us to have a defense. Like, I do think we're going to score more than 17 points, first of all. Like, whether or not we get over 30, I don't know. Because, like, if Joe Burrow's back, I do think that certain things will be better with Joe Burrow if you don't have Jamar Chase. But at the same time, he might be rusty. It might not be enough right away.
Y'all will score 18 and y'all will like it.
18? Why?
Because it's one more than 17.
Okay. I don't think the Bengals are going to win for what it's worth. As much as I want to believe in like the Joe Burrow magic, because I've seen it throughout his whole career, every time he shows up. And the biggest problem with Joe Burrow's career so far has been the parts where he's not playing. Obviously, like we lost the AFC Championship to the Chiefs, but that whole season was awesome up until that point. It wasn't really Joe Burrow's fault that we lost to the Chiefs. You could argue we should have beat the Chiefs, but I think it was the first time in human history that the refs ever screwed a team out of a conference championship win.
What?
I was waiting to see what your reaction to that was going to be.
That almost flew over my head. What? Well, I'm sorry. Are you? You do know who you're talking to, right?
Yes, I do. That's why I said it.
I'm like, we're not talking about the Bills. We're not talking about the Texans, the Jets. We're talking about the team that literally got screwed in the NFC Championship game in 2018. And I was talking about it early in the morning with my friend, and I still hate it.
No, we're not talking about. I never mentioned them.
Yeah,
the connection may have been implied, but I never specifically stated it.
We all knew you were talking about. Don't even try to hide it.
I didn't say I wasn't. That wasn't the general vibe of what I was saying. I'm saying I didn't say it. Like with words.
You said it with your inflammation.
Inflammation?
Yeah.
I got some ibuprofen if you need it.
What? What is ibuprofen?
Well, it helps with inflammation.
Okay.
What are we even fucking talking about on this show anymore?
I'm waiting for you to bring up a solid idea for us.
You know what? Look, Richard's got a point. Typical Saints fan making it all about himself. He's got a victim complex.
I mean, you're not wrong, but yeah.
At least you're self-aware. But anyway, I was gonna say, Richard, like the difference is that was a good Bengals team that y'all like pooped on back in 2014, whereas this is a garbage Bengals team that has a few superstar players, and actually I would argue has like our offense. Our offense deserves to be part of a team that is better than 3-7 right now. Like our offense doesn't deserve the record it has. But our defense is so bad. I'm not sure the defense did. I think the 20 what was it 2017 was 17 the Browns went 0-16.
20, I think it was 17.
Yeah, the 2017 Browns.
Or 2016. Which one? I think it was 16, actually.
I don't remember. Either way, that Browns team likely had a better defense than we have. The 2008 Lions, I think, had a better defense than we have. The 2023 Bengals have a better defense than we have. That's bad. The entire if you concentrate all of the bad plays that the Bengals had in the 90s, which was an absolutely horrendous decade for Bengals fans, if you concentrate all of the defensive performances from that decade, is probably still better than the defense we have this season. Like the defense we have this season is so bad that I think Bengals fans should like get refunded even if they haven't bought any tickets.
We got some Kool-Aid if you want some.
Like Kool-Aid McKinstry?
Yeah.
I would take him in a heartbeat.
Okay.
I mean, literally, who's your worst defensive player? I'd take Peyton Turner right now.
Peyton who?
Peyton Turner. I know he's not on your team right now, but I'd take Peyton Turner.
I think he's hurt.
Not the point. I think I'd take a hurt Peyton Turner over Geno Stone or Jordan.
Over my dead body.
And he doesn't even play safety.
That's what I was going to say. They play two different positions.
I know.
Like you would rather eat bread than eat grass. It's like you can't even eat grass. So obviously you're going to take the damn bread.
I would rather eat grass than watch the Bengals play defense right now. You know what? I know this isn't like. This turning into Bengals therapy session at this point, but I know this isn't necessarily a realistic indication of anything, but good Lord, I like every week before the Bengals play, I play a test Madden game to get a feel of how I think the game's going to go. And I could not function with that defense. I know it's just Madden, but I had no chance the entire, like, it literally didn't matter what I did. The defense was just hot fucking garbage. And it wasn't just, first of all, it wasn't like me missing. I mean, I think I missed a couple of tackles, but like it wasn't me playing defense badly. It's just like no matter where I was on the field, somebody else was playing so badly that it didn't matter what I did. I felt like Trey fucking Henderson, which is probably why he's like, hurt right now. I don't know. He might actually be hurt. I don't know. But if I was Trey Hendrickson, I'd be like, oh, my leg, it hurts. I can't play anymore. I have to like rest until I get a new contract with a new team. If I was Trey Hendrickson, that's what I'd be doing right now.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's what he is doing. I'm saying that's what I would do.
I'm going to be serious, and I'm not going to be okay, this is me being serious. Your defense kind of trash. So, Trey Hendrickson, has he even did anything this season when he was on the field?
Oh, yeah, he was pretty good. He was the only player. I don't know what his stats are, but Trey Hendrickson was definitely making an impact. And the defense was better earlier in the season. Like, it still had some of the same issues that we're having now, but like they could at least get stops, and they could they if it weren't for all the turnovers from Jake Browning, they probably could have won any of those games if they had, been, at least not a complete fucking train wreck on offense. But as bad as the offense was earlier in the season, that's our defense now is worse. Like you could put Jake Browning at safety, and he might do better than Geno Stone and Jordan Battle. At least Jake Browning would be angry enough to do something about it. Jordan Battle's over here like whiffing on some of the stupidest like tackle attempts I've ever seen, and then he's laughing about it in the locker room after the game.
Yeah, I know that pain. Trust me, the amount of times I watch the Saints lose and they're acting like they're getting the best thing of their lives after the game. Like,
Jordan Battle, I would be laughing if I was Jordan Battle too. I'm like, I'm getting paid you know how much money I'm getting paid to do that? Holy shit!
Yeah, look, I know they're different sports, but I was watching a Pelicans game the other night, right? Mm-hmm. We were down by 20 points. This dude, Jordan Poole, who didn't play a single minute that entire night, he's on the sideline like this. Exactly, right? And yet we're down 20 points. And I'm just watching them, and I'm like, what you smiling for?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I know how you feel.
Exactly. Like,
and he did it while the game was still going
on. I don't know what he was laughing about, but it could have been something very innocently laughing about. But how are you not so fucking furious with your own performance, or just whatever? You know what happens when I fuck up that badly at work? I'm in a bad mood the whole rest of the day, right? Because like I'm worried that I'm gonna have to I mean, I'm not necessarily always worried that I'm going to get fired or whatever, but maybe I'm worried that I'm going to have to go talk to the boss in the office the next day or something. I'm going to, I'm going to have to go on like a performance improvement plan or something like that. Like, I mean, it almost never happens that way, but when I fuck up at work, that's how I react. Not like laughing with something like, ha, 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 ha. Like, I don't give a shit what you were fucking listening. You could have been listening to like Josh Johnson's new fucking special. And like, if you're laughing, you're a fucking sociopath. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes, bro, I could get a question. Like when I'm at school, if I get one question wrong, I feel like a disappointment, bro. Because I'm like, man, bro, how? Now she's probably not going to call me no more. Now I'm probably now everybody's just gonna remember me as the person that got that question wrong. Like, and I remember one time I did something, or one time I got a question wrong, man. And that entire weekend I was stressing over that one question. So like I'd be stressing over the littlest things. So the fact that they be laughing when they're getting destroyed at work, like y'all. I mean, I would say that y'all get cut, but y'all probably get paid anyway if y'all got the guaranteed money. So
right. Also, Richard is saying if I was guaranteed $10 million a year, I'd never be unhappy. Jordan Battle's not being guaranteed $10 million a year. Like I think his cap hit this year is $1.5 million.
Yeah, his rookie contract.
Yeah, he's still on his rookie contract. Now, don't get me wrong, that's still a substantial amount of money. If I was going to make $1.5 million, over the course of the whole year, much less the 4 months of football. And now, granted, there's also like training camp and stuff like that. But these guys also like like in the off season, like they go out to fucking Florida and I don't know, pepper their dicks or some shit. I don't know. And yeah, I like Jordan Battle's not a practice squad player. He's, he was a 3rd round pick, so he's not like got the biggest contract of all time, but he's still, at the end of this season, his base salary is $1.2 million. Like we talk about these numbers sometimes, like, oh, $1.2 million. Like, by NFL standards, that's like barely any money. The Bengals are so lucky to be able to have like, rookies that they only have to pay $1.2 million a year to. But you know how much money I fucking made last year? Like on my tax returns, it was somewhere around like 25,000. Now I was working part time, and there's like with school and everything like that. Like I was in a particularly uniquely bad situation for income, and I did that for investing into whatever. But point being, $1.2 million is your base salary. Like one of the worst safeties in the entire league right now, a guy who like only just this season really seems to have been solidified as a starter, because like in 2023 he had a pretty decent rookie season. We're like, okay, this guy's gonna be the hold down the safety position long term. Maybe he's no Jesse Bates, but like he's at least somebody who can maybe make some sort of impact or whatever. And then 2024 he barely ever gets any starts because he's suddenly in Lou Anarumo's doghouse. I'm not entirely sure why, and obviously Lou Anarumo is doing a much better right now in Indianapolis. But let's see what happens when all those contracts come due and he actually has to develop people. And we'll see if people are talking about Lou Anarumo being really, doing a really good job in Indianapolis by then. This is why he got fired in Cincinnati, because he didn't fucking develop anybody. Like Jordan Battle, by the way, who, like I said, had a really good rookie season. Look at him now. Part of the reason that he's this bad right now is because Lou Anarumo didn't develop him for shit. Now, some of that's on Jordan Battle, don't get me wrong. But when every single like defensive guy you have is not developing at all, like look at Miles Murphy's a perfect example. Miles Murphy is this year starting to take a few strides, not really nearly enough for what we need him to be. But Miles Murphy's finally starting to take a few strides this year. But he didn't do shit when Lou Anarumo was here. Lou Anarumo didn't develop him for shit. This year, he's kind of getting a couple of things figured out. Some rookie guys are here and there getting a few things figured out. The linebackers really need to get their shit completely figured out. But, like, good Lord, like, if Lou Anarumo had been doing this all along, we'd be still in the playoff consideration every year.
Yeah.
And then that's the thing, too. Lou Anarumo is like a defensive backs guy. How was a guy like Jordan Battle not somebody who got developed? Cam Taylor-Britt's another great example. He was looking like he was going to be the future of the cornerback position here. And, he is the starter, right? He's the main starter. But he's fallen off so much off of a cliff.
I agree.
Largely because Lou Anarumo, like I said, didn't develop him. He was like, oh, I got this talented guy. Cool. I'm going to play him as much as I can. But, like, he deteriorated every year instead of getting better. And now we're stuck in this position. And like, I feel bad for Al Golden, because I don't think it's Al Golden's fault that our defense is this bad, but like, what's he going to do with it?
Yeah. I mean, there's only so much a coach can do. Like when you're stuck in like a bad predicament that the previous coach left you in, like some teams can turn chicken shit into chicken salad. But some coaches just look at chicken shit and they're like, man, that's some shitty ass chicken. So it's like, you get what you pay for at this point. He was a college coordinator, but
look at Bill Belichick in Cleveland, right? Like, I mean,
yeah,
the Browns probably did better with Belichick than the Browns really had any right to do at the time. So like Bill Belichick did a better job with Cleveland than he probably should have. But at the same time, the whole point is that like the shit that Cleveland was dealing with before Bill Belichick got there was only so much he could do. Same thing with the Jets, Yet Bill Belichick with the Giants before he became a head coach, I mean, shit, you got Lawrence Taylor to work with. It's not exactly
You even had the Giants win the Super Bowl.
Exactly right. Now again, he had Lawrence Taylor to coach. It's not exactly like
exactly, but like we were saying, he helped develop Lawrence Taylor into being one of, if not the best defensive lineman or defensive player of all time.
I mean, he did, but also like the thing with Belichick is sometimes it's kind of hard to tell. It's been hard to tell a lot throughout his career who's really responsible for how well the players have done. Right now, I will say with Belichick, you got to give him credit for the longevity of how many players developed under him. But at the same time, you also got to recognize that like once Tom Brady left, like he wasn't really developing anybody, and he doesn't seem to be doing a very good job at UNC either.
Well, I think now the game passing by. It's kind of like with Nick Saban and why he left Bama. It's like, like the NIL money started rolling in, and just like the NFL, the salary cap started getting higher and higher and higher. And then when Tom Brady left, he had to rebuild a team, and he probably already knew that he was getting up there in age. Like I even knew before a lot of other people did. Like his last year, I was like, this is gonna be his last year because it's like you saw after every loss, he just looked unmotivated to be there. He looked like he just wanted to basically just enjoy life after football. And now he's with college and stuff. And like even then, it's like I mean, I just don't. Bill Belichick's just not a college coach to me. It's like he's just been a guy who's just living off the past. He's basically like a Cowboys fan, except less arrogant and as a head coach. So it's like Belichick.
Bill Belichick's kind of fucking arrogant.
I know, like I'm not, but I'm saying like now he's like back then when he was winning and stuff, he was arrogant, but now I think he kind of humbled himself, and now I think Belichick, he's just I won't even be surprised if he's out by next year in North Carolina. I think he's just done with it. So it's like when you bring up Bill Belichick, but yeah, I understand, but. I don't know.
I was maybe saying him not doing well in UNC is kind of unfair, but everything else I was saying I think was pretty valid.
Well, yeah, I mean, I used to say Bill Belichick was one of the most overrated coaches of all time, and I still stand on it. I mean, yeah, he got 6 Super Bowl wins, but it's like when Tom Brady left, the Patriots went like they had that 1 year with Mac Jones, and then all the way down.
But also, like I was saying earlier, he did a much better job with Cleveland than Cleveland had any right to be doing. You can't really judge him for the results of the Jets because he just fucking hightailed it out of there.
And that's why when it comes to coaches, that's why it comes like. Being a head coach is more than just being like an X or O type of person. Being a head coach, you have to and look, I've never been a head coach before, but from my knowledge of, watching coaching stuff, you have to also be a leader. All right. And Bill Belichick, one thing, like he may have not been the best X and O, like he was a great defensive mind. He had great defenses, and obviously the offenses was always there. However, Bill Belichick, he could motivate somebody, all right? Now, like, with the Patriots, I feel like Bill Belichick was a part of that dynasty, but I feel like it's kind of like a lot of people thought when Brady was there, a lot of people thought it was like 70% Belichick and maybe like 40% Brady or 60% Belichick and 40% Brady. But I think now you have to see it's either 50-50 or 60-40 Brady side, or maybe even 70-30 Brady side. It's like I think Brady, like, because especially when Brady left Bill Belichick and then won a Super Bowl right after that, it's kind of hard to debate that. And like Tampa Bay, well, the year that Brady won with them, they looked mid for like most of that season, but they got hot at the right time, and Brady.
And you know what? Speaking of which, if the Bengals beat the Patriots, and then they beat the Bills, then they beat the Ravens, then they beat the Bills, then they beat the Ravens again, and then they win their next 3 games after that. If they just win every single game the rest of the season, they're going to be fucking hot as shit. They're going to be the hottest team in the NFL with Joe Burrow warmed up at quarterback.
The Saints still have a chance to get the 1 seed.
Do they?
They're 2-8, and the Eagles are number 1 at 9-2. So if they lose out and the Saints win out, we get 1 seed, but everybody else has to like tie or something out.
We'll see. So you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's possible. Although I would have you done like the tiebreaker math on that? Because like just because they could finish with the same record as the number 1 seed doesn't mean that they would necessarily get it. And also there's also like how many teams would have to basically fall to 9-8, and then is that even possible with the way the schedule is?
I mean that's why I said I think everybody would have to like tie or something.
Oh, okay.
Hold on, let me what was it that? Hold on, it was under this. I don't know, cause like I found a website where it tells me if like something's like if the same or if anybody has like a clinching opportunity in the week or an elimination thing.
Oh,
and I remember one time it said that if the Saints lost to the Panthers, they'll be eliminated from getting the 1 seed, but they indeed did not lose to Carolina. So I mean, yeah, okay. Well, apparently they have 30 elimination odds. That's weird. So it's okay. So if the Eagles win, Packers win, Bears win, 49ers win, Rams win, Seahawks win. So basically, if every NFC team wins, the Saints are eliminated from the 1 seed. So okay, so yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, like I said, they could tie. You never know. NFL's crazy.
So I wanted to respond to what Richard said here real quick. He said for 18 games, 3 preseason games, maybe a playoff game, referring to how much people are making. It's more than that, Richard. So it's the risk you're taking to your body, and the fact that like the average NFL career is like 3 years. Now, obviously, if you're like a superstar, you're gonna be there. You're gonna be in it longer than that, but like the difficulty it takes to actually be able to get to that level, there's only a handful of human beings on the entire planet who make it to that level. But on top of, the risk you're taking to your body, it's more than the 18 games and the 3 preseason games and maybe a playoff game, or theoretically 4 playoff games, or actually 3 playoff games in the Super Bowl, because the Super Bowl is not a playoff game.
No, yes, it is.
Nope. So it's also all of like all of the practices during the week. I think they practice on Monday, so that they have to go to practice on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I think they practice on Saturday. I'm sure they have to get a rest day at some point.
I think probably like if they're on the road, they might get like a day off when it comes to like traveling.
Maybe something like that. But point being, like, like you're constantly on when you're in the NFL. Like it's more than just playing 18 games that we as fans see. It's like, the amount of work that you're doing is, I mean, maybe not like maybe like Patrick Mahomes making like literally $500 million on the one contract he has right now, is maybe a little inflated for how much work he's putting in, but not to say he's not putting in the work. That's to say that is it really worth $500 million fucking dollars in one NFL contract, right? But like obviously some players have heavily inflated salaries. Part of that's just because of like marketing and the revenue that the NFL makes, and the NFL players are just as entitled to that as the owners are. But you're also thinking about like I've made the observation before that even practice squad players are getting paid more than the president of the United States, which is crazy when you think about it. But you also think about like how much actual work you're putting in. Like even like the practice squad players, maybe they're not playing on Sundays, but they're still probably putting in some sort of work on Sundays, and they're also like I said, 6 days a week in NFL football practice. Like I couldn't handle 1 day a week in football practice when I was a kid. Now that's why I didn't last in football, but still.
Yeah.
Hard as hell when both of your teams. It's fucking Jim. I don't fucking care, Jim. So So yeah. Want to do predictions?
Okay.
All right. Let me. I probably ought to get the thing up real quick. I already gave you my prediction on the Bengals, so we'll get back to that and I'll talk about it more later. But kind of already gave you that. Mikey, technically, I'm gonna give it to you because I'm a nice guy, but technically, you didn't tell me that you were picking the Texans.
You didn't ask.
It's not the point. Point is, I can't verify it.
You can ask my dad.
Well, I don't really feel like it. Like I said, I'm going to give it to you, but just saying.
When's the last time I ever lied to you, other than being a Saints fan?
What?
When's the last time I ever lied to you?
Other than being a Saints fan? I don't understand. Did you lie about being a Saints fan?
No, because I would always say Saints gonna win, and then they don't win, so then that's
technically
a lie.
I don't think it's lying if you genuinely believe that.
Who said I genuinely believed it?
Well, you believed it enough to pick them.
Yeah.
And you have also picked against them many times. So you had to believe it enough to pick them and not not pick them.
Yep, because I'm not biased.
Well, I didn't say you weren't, but being biased by definition means you believe it. Doesn't mean you're right.
Yeah.
But it does mean you believe it.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so I'll be honest, I was going to pick the Bills. I don't think I actually made a prediction at any point, but I was gonna pick the Bills. Mikey says he picked the Texans, and you know what? We'll just choose to believe him. So the first game, we got the Steelers going to Chicago to play the Bears. Now I believe Aaron Rodgers not playing.
Interesting.
Well, he's questionable, so he might play.
Rodgers,
but I think I'm definitely getting Bears win vibes from this one. Regardless of whether Rodgers plays or not, because Aaron Rodgers already, there was a story out, I think yesterday, Aaron Rodgers is already kind of hedging everything by saying he says he wants to let bygones be bygones with the Bears, and he's trying to put it bed. I think part of the reason is because he thinks there's a really good chance the Bears are going to win, so he doesn't want to get caught and oh, you still own us type of stuff, because he can be like, well, I already said I'm putting it down. So it feels to me like everything's pointing to the Steelers losing this week. Not to mention, it feels like the Steelers' season is kind of going off the rails anyway, and beating the garbage ass Bengals notwithstanding. It feels like the Bears are kind of destined to win this game.
Yeah, I think the Bears win too. Also, another point is Chicago, they are on a roll right now, and it's literally what I said earlier about getting hot the right time. Pittsburgh is currently doing the opposite of getting hot. Now, I know they won last week, yeah. But it's man, they've been losing a lot of games lately. And the Bears.
Well, they've been losing a lot of games lately.
8. Huh?
The Steelers have been losing a lot of games lately. And in addition to that, they one of those games they lost was to the Bengals. So that should tell you enough right there.
Dang, that is bad.
Yeah, right. They beat the Bengals this most recent time around, but honestly, it wasn't the way that score was at the end of the game didn't really reflect how close that game was throughout most of it. It's once again the Bengals have a garbage fourth quarter. It was started by Joe Flacco throwing a pick six, and it was pretty much all just once Flacco threw that pick six, it was over. The game was over. The season felt over. But up until that pick six, it was like the Steelers never held a lead of like a full touchdown, right? Like, I mean, it was like they had like, well, okay, they did it on the first drive. They got a touchdown on the first drive because our defense is awful. And then it was a 1 point lead for pretty much most of the first half, and then the Steelers did get a field goal at the end of the half. But then the Bengals answered with the field goal, so it was a 1 point lead again. The Steelers got another field goal, and the game was pretty much like that until Flacco threw the pick six. And so it's like the Steelers were still their defense was playing better than they did in the previous game against the Bengals, but the Steelers struggled with the Bengals. Let's be real, the Steelers struggled with the Bengals. And they lost to the Bengals. So they're just like that. If that doesn't show you how garbage the fucking Steelers are.
Yeah.
They struggled with the Vikings, who were bad. They had a decisive win over the Browns, and other than that, beating the Patriots was, but that was before the Patriots really kind of turned it on. Because like pretty much ever since that game, the Patriots have been kind of killing it, right? But like other than like the Browns and the Patriots before the Patriots really turned it on, there hasn't really been like a really signature win by the Steelers. Like, I mean, they beat the Colts. Okay, the Colts. I glossing over the Colts was incorrect. So they did beat the Colts, and they beat them by 7, but that's still good. So that was the thing, but then they turn around and they lose to the Chargers 25-10. And then the following week, they, like I said, regardless of what the final score was, they kind of struggled with the Bengals for most of that game. And now Aaron Rodgers injured his wrist, and he's questionable to play against the Bears. But I think it's quite possible that Aaron Rodgers just sits, because it kind of sounds like the way he's talking, like he's not all that motivated to play in the game. And then they got to play the Bills, who I saw somebody describe the Bills as a team that every single game has played to the level of their competition this year, because they've beat some really good teams and they've lost to some garbage teams. And as you recall, they beat the Saints, but they didn't really look very good when they were playing the Saints.
I mean, yeah, they almost lost to one of the worst quarterbacks of all time, Chris Olave.
Fair point. That was a very bad play.
That play still haunts me.
That play gave me heartburn. And I mean that literally, because I was eating like Korean, like high level spicy chicken when that play happened. And that play happened, I literally started busting out laughing in the middle of the Korean fried chicken restaurant, and some of the chicken got stuck in my throat, and I kind of had heartburn after that. So Chris Olave playing quarterback literally gave me heartburn. I
still remember where I was when that play happened. I was at my dad's house, and I'm watching the game, and I'm like, "Oh, we about to go up 3 on the Bills at halftime." I thought we were going to lose by at least 37 points. So the fact that we have a chance to take the lead, and then for whatever reason, Kellen Moore, like, I'm not mad at calling that type of play. Like, get fun with it, but like when you're at the goal line against the Buffalo Bills, you just gotta take the point. Like, okay, like the Philly special, I understand. A lot of people were like, well, when the Eagles ran the Philly special, no one had a problem with it. Well, yeah, because they were winning at the time of that play. So if they didn't get it, oh well, they still got to go in halftime. You were down by 4, just take them. But yeah.
Okay. So anyway, the Pittsburgh Steelers are on a downward slope, and I believe the Steelers are going to lose most of the rest of the games left on their schedule. Now, it's also a tough schedule, so that's very believable. What?
After they get their 9 wins, then yeah.
They might get to 9 wins, and I would be so fucking mad, by the way, if the Steelers collapse at the end of the season but still get to 9 wins. I would be like, I mean, I don't know how mad I'd be, because like it's starting to turn into like a meme and a joke, like, like, oh look, Mike Tomlin Mike Tomlin's turning into Jeff Fisher. That's what's happening. Like before our eyes, Mike Tomlin is turning into Jeff Fisher.
Oh, that's nice. Good for him. I hope he enjoys it.
I don't think he does.
Well,
All right. Well, anyway, we talked enough about the Steelers. I laughed at their pain, and I have to because I have if I don't laugh at their pain, I'm gonna have to pay attention to my own pain, and I don't want to do that. That sounds unpleasant. I don't
yeah.
know how to handle strife.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, moving on. We got the New York Giants going to Detroit to play the Lions. What do you think is going to happen, Mikey?
I think it's gonna be closer than what a lot of people think, but nah, give me the Lions. They're probably gonna be pissed off after being 0 for 5 and 4th down because Dan Campbell calling offensive plays for whatever reason.
I don't think it's going to be close. I think the Giants are bereft. Jackson Dart's not even playing. First of all,
Okay.
um,
We almost beat the Packers with Jameis Winston.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Everything seems to be going as wrong as it could be for the Giants. Like they fired Brian Daboll, and I think that might have like normally when a team that's really bad fires its head coach, everybody's like, oh well, maybe they actually got a little bit better. But not in this case. I don't think it was Brian Daboll's fault at all. Now I do feel like Brian Daboll kind of turned into a petulant child in his final game, and maybe he was starting to crack, and maybe he did need to go because of that. But definitely not Brian Daboll's fault that the Giants are 2-9 right now. And everything else seems to be going wrong for the Giants right now. I think, especially with how pissed off the Lions are going to be after that last game, I think the Giants are walking into a fucking slaughter.
But they got Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston also throws a lot of picks.
But he's still one of the best quarterbacks of all time.
He's one of the most notable quarterbacks of all time.
No, he one of the best. He's the last quarterback for the Saints that actually kept me warm at night.
Is Jameis Winston your Andy Dalton?
That depends. Was Andy Dalton funny and good at football when he was for your team, but then he suffered an injury because Devin White decided to be a prick, and then that made Andy Dalton bad at football because then he got hurt again, and then they put in Andy Dalton for Jameis Winston, and then Jameis went to the freaking Browns, and then went to the I don't know.
Okay, so no, not all of those things, but more of those things than you would think. Yes. I don't know about Andy being funny, but Andy was definitely an enjoyable guy to have here. And he definitely like that thumb injury he had in 2015 definitely basically derailed his whole career in Cincinnati, because like prior to that thumb injury, it was looking like the Bengals were very slowly but surely putting together a run with Andy Dalton and Marvin Lewis that was at least going to be something that was going to be interesting for a very long time, even if it wasn't going to be like great. And then he got that thumb injury, and everything just went to fucking hell after that. Like 20, he missed the playoffs, and then they lost to the Steelers the way they lost to the Steelers. And then they came back in 2016, and 2016 was a gigantic disappointment. And then 2017 happened, and then 2018 happened, and then 2019 happened. And then we got Joe Burrow.
The Saints were 6-2 when Jameis got injured, and then we had to start Trevor Trash Simeon, and then Taysom Hill got some snaps, and then we started Ian Book for one game. That was awful, and then we went back to Taysom Hill. He got injured, and we went from 6-2 to 9-8. We were second in the division, one game behind Tampa Bay. We still swept Tampa Bay that year, which was funny because they had Tom Brady, and we had basically the Make-A-Wish quarterbacks. But it was not.
You know what? Why don't you talk to the people for a second? I have something I need to go get. Okay, so you talk so that it's not weird and boring, because I'm gonna go do something real quick. Okay.
Okay, you gone now. So basically, what I'm just saying, don't be a Saints fan, and if you are a Saints fan, get some help. But also, don't be a Bengals fan, because Kyle, he's a Steelers fan at heart. And also, don't forget that Kyle loves Joe Burrow. He loves him more than he loves his own family. And also, don't forget that Kool-Aid is still the Saints cornerback.
You know I can fucking hear you, right?
I did not know that. Yeah. Oh, bruh. Whatever. Anyways, get some help. If you are a Saints, Jets, Browns, Texans, Bengals, if you're one of those fans, then get some help, man. Get some compensation, because we all deserve some damn compensation for our trash organizations. I need at least half of Derek Carr's salary. I don't care if he's playing or not. I don't care if that boy retired. He got money. Okay. Anyways, Saints gonna win the Super Bowl. Saints.
Okay. So first of all, fuck you.
What did I do?
You know exactly what you did.
I don't know what I did.
Good Lord, I cannot. What's going on with my camera? There we go. Is that better? I think it's a little bit better. All right. First of all, my boy. You know, plus. Crab legs.
Okay.
So I'm just saying they're soulmates.
Okay.
Andy Dalton is a much more boring Jameis Winston.
Okay.
Andy Dalton never went 30 for 30. I'll say that.
No, that's not true. He went 33 for 30.
What?
Jameis Winston went 33 for 30. We're going to stop disrespecting him and saying he threw 30 for 30. He had more touchdowns and interceptions, and that's what matters.
You know what? In fairness, I said the same thing. I actually said the same thing about Jameis Winston that year. I'm like, yeah, okay, 30 interceptions. That's pretty bad. But he did also throw, especially at the time, he did also throw, good Lord, why can I not fix my camera?
I don't know. Maybe because you're still.
So, James. Okay, so Jameis Winston, throwing 30 interceptions is bad, but he did throw 33 touchdowns. So I mean, that's that was like Brett Favre on crack, is what it was.
He was smoking some good crack.
I guess I don't know. We should move. We should move on though. Next game. So we're both taking the Lions. You're saying it's going to be a close game. I'm saying it's not going to be a close game, but we're both taking the Lions.
Yeah.
All right, Vikings, Packers. Two teams I don't like at all, and not personally. Two teams that I right now am very low on right now.
I think the defense will be the story of this game, but I think Packers get a low-scoring victory.
I could really technically go either way on this game. The way JJ McCarthy's been looking lately makes me feel like the Packers are probably going to win this game. I don't know.
You don't trust in 9?
Huh?
You don't trust in 9?
I trust in R9.
We used to have a 9.
Yeah, well, you don't anymore.
But now we got a 2.
R9 picked his number because...
No, Rattler's the 2. Shuck's 6.
R9 picked his number because of your 9.
Wait, yeah, I know that. But wait, hold on. If you think about it, 6 is just a backwards 9. So is Tyler Shuck the next backwards Drew Brees?
Isn't that bad?
I guess it would be. I don't know. But I remember the story. I think Burrow even said that he was like a part-time Saints fan, Bengals fan, and Browns. I know he said he liked the Saints because of Brees, but I mean, he might have I mean, I remember when I told you that, you kind of pointed out where it's like he was probably saying that to rile up the LSU fans.
I would think, but I would also think spending as long and having such a good career as he had in Louisiana would have made him at least at some point a Saints fan. But growing up, I severely doubt he was a Saints fan. Growing up, like first of all, he grew up in Athens, Ohio, which I'm like, as much as I hate to admit it, Athens is Browns country. Like, you know, there are like you can definitely be a Bengals fan in Athens, and it's actually I think it's closer to Cincinnati than it is to Cleveland. But whenever I went out to like the bars and stuff in Athens, it seemed like there were a lot more Browns fans than there were Bengals fans.
Oh, absolutely.
What do you mean absolutely? Why would that be a normal thing? Because at the time the Bengals were, you know, over the last like, because I went to college in like the early 2010s, right? So at the time, the Bengals had been like since 2005, the Bengals had been a consistently relevant team in the NFL, outside of obviously some down years like 06 and 07 and 08, and 2010. And you could argue 2011, they came out of nowhere and made the playoffs, but nobody, like literally every single outlet had us like in that offseason in the power rankings. We were like number 32, like people were calling us number 32. Like I've never seen anybody call anybody 32 before. Like people were less confident about the Browns being number 32 going into the 2018 season.
I remember a lot of people thought. I remember when the Browns went 0-16, a lot of people thought that they could contend for their division the year after, and I'm like,
Yeah, dude, people say, okay, you remember that about that one season, but that's every damn year with the Browns. Like this shit pissed me off since I was like, this shit's pissed me off since I was like, you know, in high school, really, because like every single year, like the Browns have a garbage year, and then that they're everybody's dark horse team to like do something crazy the next year, and like it's happened once, maybe twice. You could argue the Brian Hoyer year, there was something interesting going on there, but like other than that, there was the one year they made the playoffs with Baker Mayfield, and other than that, every year the Browns are everybody's dark horse to do something. Not lately. Lately, people have been, I think, wising up on the Browns a little bit. But okay, so that's what I'm saying. Lately, people haven't been doing that so much. But for like a decade straight, they were like everybody's dark horse team in the offseason. Everybody was like, "Oh, I'm like, you know, look at this hot take I have. The Browns are gonna," but it was everybody's hot take that the Browns were gonna, you know, be the surprise team that does something, and they never fucking did. Yeah. And I try to tell people every year, I'm like, don't you get tired of being wrong?
No, not really.
I guess I don't know. Moving on, because we've only done 3 games so far. So you said the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm. You know what? I'm just gonna go with my gut on this one. I don't give a shit. My brain says the Packers, but I have this weird feeling that the Vikings are gonna do it this week, because it kind of seems like the most Packers thing ever to be riding high like that and then just getting smacked back down to earth.
That's nice.
I don't know. The Packers should win. I just have this weird feeling. You got the Seahawks going to Tennessee. Now think long and hard, Mikey.
Seahawks, move on.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Seahawks are a really good football team, and the Titans are a really bad football team. That's the analysis. Next up, you got the Colts going to Kansas City, between 2 actually good football teams.
Give me the Chiefs to win this one. The Chiefs are not going to lose. They're like the Colts. Look, I respect them. But Daniel Jones might not even play. It's like, you know. So
he won't.
He's questionable.
Who's their backup?
Anthony Richardson.
I think Daniel
Well, I
Jones.
don't know if he's active. I know he was dealing with an eye injury. So their active. So their backup might be Riley Leonard.
I think Daniel Jones is going to play.
Well, even if he does, it's like you're playing with the hurt calf, going up against Mahomes, who just lost to Denver, so he's probably pissed off. Kelsey, but
but the Chiefs just haven't been the Chiefs this year, man. Like, I don't know. It's like every week it seems like like they had that 3-game winning streak. It's like, oh, the Chiefs are back, and then they like lose to the Bills in a game where it was competitive, but it didn't feel like high flying like it normally does. And then they like turn around and they lose to the Broncos, who are like the worst fucking like what are they 9-2 at this point? Like they got to be like the worst 9-2 team of all time.
We say that every year.
I know. And obviously, a win's a win's a win's a win. I'm not really criticizing the Broncos that much. I'm just saying, like, the Chiefs, like, in years past, the Chiefs would have, like, beaten the Broncos. It wouldn't have even been that hard, right? But it's just, like, it's different this year. I don't know. I'm gonna take the Colts. Obviously, if Anthony Richardson's playing, that changes the story a little bit. But I'm gonna take the Colts because, like, like I said, it feels a little different this year. It feels like the magic's just not really quite magicking, Next up, we got the Jets going to the Ravens.
Jets.
In a game that do they have to play this game?
If it's on the schedule, yeah, unless it gets canceled.
So who you picking?
Jets.
Really?
Huh?
Like for real? Like really? Like for real? You're not joking?
I'm not joking.
I'm gonna take the Ravens because I'm sane. But boy, Mikey, if you are right, I don't know if there are very few times I think I've been happier to be wrong. I think when I picked the Steelers to beat the Bengals on Thursday Night Football earlier this year, and then the Bengals beat them, I think I was happier then to have been wrong. But very few times in my life would I be happier to be wrong than if the Jets beat the fucking Ravens. Like that would be hilarious. I don't think it's gonna happen. The Jets are that fucking bad.
All right.
Like, I mean, the best team the Jets have beat this year is the Bengals. So if that tells you anything,
is that really the best team that they beat? I thought the Browns were the best team that they beat.
The Bengals are better than the Browns. Come on. First of all, like as bad as our defense is, their offense is almost that bad. Almost, not quite.
But the thing is,
but our offense is really, really good, and like their defense is good, but I think our offense is better than their defense.
But the thing is, the Browns are perfect timing. You don't get it, do you?
No.
Shedeur Sanders made a song called "Perfect Timing" with the watch.
I haven't seen it.
Okay.
I'm 100% not aware that happened. Now I am. Yeah, you told me.
Well, he made a song called "Perfect Timing" where it's like he flexes a watch, and like when he scored his first touchdown in the preseason, he flexed a watch. So yeah, that's basically the Shedeur meme.
Anyway, I would be absolutely elated if the Jets win this game, but that I don't think it's going to happen. Like it seems absolutely outside of the realm of possibility. Like what did they do last week? They lost pretty decisively to the Patriots. Now, I mean, the Patriots are pretty good this year, so fair enough. And the prior 2 games to that, they won, but I don't know. It just feels like Lamar is not going to let that happen.
Interesting.
Browns going to Vegas to play the Raiders. Ew.
I'll be right back. You want to know my reaction? Or do you want to know what I think about that game? I'll show you.
I would imagine probably similar to what I think about it.
I'll show you what I think about that game. Trash.
Okay.
Garbage truck juice.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You're right. So who's gonna win?
The meteor.
Nobody. You know who's gonna win is probably the winner of the Rams and like whoever wins between the Rams and Buccaneers can probably claim that they won the Browns Raiders game because they can probably claim that how bad the Raiders Browns game was may have been so bad that it distracted their opponent in preparation for the Sunday Night Football game.
Maybe.
So anyway, who's gonna between the Browns and the Raiders, who's going to score more points?
Browns win 3-0. I don't care. Browns win.
I think the Browns win 2-0. Now I think the Raiders are gonna win.
Okay. No, the Browns it'll probably be a decent game just because it's two trash teams. So it's gonna be it's gonna be more than 2 points, but Browns win.
Like some of the most exciting football games I've ever seen have been between Ohio University and like Kent State, right?
Well, that's not very good for your mental health.
Huh? Why?
Because I said so.
Okay. I'm just saying like those aren't two particularly great football teams, but those games have been some of the more fun games that I've watched.
Good for you, man.
Well, for a MAC team, OU is actually pretty good, but again, for a MAC team. So.
Interesting.
Next up, you got the Jacksonville Jaguars going to Arizona to play the Cardinals. What you got?
Cards.
Okay, I got the Jaguars.
This is a game Jacksonville would lose. You know why? Because
you're not wrong. That is a fair point. I think the Cardinals are bad enough to not pull it off, but you're not wrong that it does kind of feel like the type of game the Jaguars would lose.
Brissett completed 47 passes last week, and yet they still lost by 19 points. Jacksonville blew out the Chargers. And you might be like, they blew out the Chargers. Jacksonville's obviously going to win. Well, if you think that, then you have not been watching Jaguars football for the last decade.
Do the Jaguars own the Chargers?
They do.
That's kind of fun.
If you don't remember, that's the team that they beat in the playoffs when the Chargers were up 27-0.
That's kind of what I'm referencing. Yeah, the Jaguars kind of own the Chargers.
And that same year, Jacksonville blew the piss out of the Chargers. That same season, in like week 3 or 4.
Exactly right. That's what I'm saying. All time. The Chargers actually lead the series all time. But to be fair, Jacksonville was trash for years, so it's probably got a lot to do with it. I mean, they've won the last 3 games against the Chargers, though.
Yeah.
All right. Who's up next? I would tell you, but my fucking screen froze, so I don't even know who's next. Probably a football team, I would think. Here we go. The Eagles and the Cowboys.
Eagles win.
I actually think the Cowboys are going to win.
Okay, you enjoy thinking that.
Just because everything that's been going on with Philadelphia's and like their offense lately. I benched AJ Brown in fantasy this week just because like the last time he played the Cowboys, it was his worst game of the season.
You haven't cut him yet?
No, I haven't cut him. Like he's been mostly on the bench. But
AJ Brown said out of his own mouth that if you have him in fantasy, you gotta cut him. Yeah,
but it's not exactly a league where there's a lot of options. Like I could maybe go pick up Mitch Tinsley.
Go do that.
Okay.
Probably be more valuable than AJ Brown is.
He did have a good game last week, though.
What's a game?
something that AJ Brown performed well in. Okay. Next up, we got the Sunday night football game. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to Los Angeles to play the. I almost said the Chiefs. I don't know why I almost said the Chiefs. The Rams.
Next.
You got to pick a team, Mikey.
This is basically code for saying the Buccaneers.
I don't think so. I think the Rams are on a roll.
That's my code. Ron in Cincinnati.
You don't play us till next year.
Bill Belichick can do it, so I can't wait.
Because he was actually on to Cincinnati at the time.
Okay, we're on to Cincinnati.
Okay, so I'm taking the Rams.
Okay.
Just because the Rams have been hotter than a fucking Indian food fart.
I wish they both could lose.
I know you do. Carolina going to San Francisco. What you got?
I wish they both could lose too.
What do you got against the 49ers? I mean, I got something against the 49ers. What do you have against the 49ers?
Man, they gave the Chiefs a whole dynasty.
That is true. They deserve to suffer.
They annoy me. Like, it's not.
They also beat the Bengals in the Super Bowl twice.
Yeah, but it's like, like if the Chiefs beat them one time, it's like, okay, good teams win good. But they got two of them? Two of them? You're telling me 49ers going to win two? Like, one out of two? Two. So now Chiefs fans, like, the Chiefs wouldn't even have had a three-peat opportunity if it wasn't for these photos. But yeah, give me the Panthers to win, though.
It's true. Garbage fucking 49ers. They deserve to suffer. I've said it for years.
And also they beat us with Mac Jones, and I was not very happy about that.
Yeah, fuck the 49ers. I agree. I also think the Panthers are going to win.
I do too.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
The Panthers are like the anti-Bills, right? They've basically done the same thing that the Bills have done all year. They've played they've played up to good competition. They've played down to bad competition. But they're like the anti-Bills because the Bills were supposed to be good this year and the Panthers were supposed to be really bad this year. And it's been kind of an okay season for both of them.
Yeah. And also, Vernon Davis eliminated the Saints by himself in 2011. And in 2019, Saints would have got the 1 seed and made the Super Bowl because the show rides in New Orleans. But the 49ers decided to beat us when we scored 46 points.
Well, maybe you should have played some defense then. But
don't say the B word around me. You know that's a myth.
You're talking to a Bengals fan.
What's good, Jonah? How you doing? You say go Pack go. I say who dat?
I picked the Vikings to win, Jonah.
He did it. I picked the Packers. Don't sue me.
I don't know if I believe that the Vikings are going to win. I've got this weird feeling in my gut that the Vikings are gonna like.
You either feel like it or you don't.
I don't. I'm just saying I have a weird feeling in my gut, so I took them, but I don't really believe it.
Okay.
So anyway, okay, so now we just have our stupid teams to talk about.
Well, before you get to that, Kyle, Jonah says, how's it going? So, yeah.
Oh, hi, Jonah. Hi, Jonah. I hope the Packers I don't care about the Packers. I'm sorry.
Jonah also says, boo Vikings.
Well, I'm sure you would feel that way. I'm not exactly the biggest fan of the Vikings lately either, but I
don't like the Vikings either.
Ever since they fired Mike Zimmer, man, they've just been pissing me off ever since then.
Yeah. Let's see. You can dislike the Packers. Oh, no worries. Well, I don't think Kyle dislikes the Packers.
No, I don't dislike the Packers. I do find the Packers. I've said this on the show before. I do find the Packers like fan base to be like kind of spoiled and kind of arrogant, and it would be funny to see them like kind of get like egg thrown on their face, but I don't care that much. Like I literally the Packers could be about as far from relevant when it comes to the Bengals and vice versa. I don't really care. Wisconsin seems like a nice enough place, I guess. I don't know. I'm about as neutral on the Packers as one could be on any team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so anyway, Saints Falcons.
Okay, so this is what's gonna happen. Okay, so here's why. Okay, so before y'all call me biased, delusional, stupid, let me lean on. So Atlanta, they went to Germany, Berlin, Germany. They lost the Colts in overtime. Then they got to go to Carolina to play the Panthers, where they lost in overtime as well. Okay, now they got to go on the road to New Orleans with a hostile environment, and guess what? That's not even the best part. Tyler Shuck, he becoming a dad soon. So now Shuck has to put food on the table. And guess what? Atlanta's doing all this with no quarterback, no receiver. And also, Atlanta sucks. And for everybody saying the Saints only have one Super Bowl, that's not true. We have 2 Super Bowls because we will count the Patriots over Atlanta because that's a Super Bowl for us. But yeah, so yeah, Atlanta lose by 2 touchdowns, Saints win, and I'm happy on Sunday.
I feel like you're roasting yourself when you claim that your rival losing the Super Bowl is like a Super Bowl win for you. I feel like that's something that like when I celebrated the Steelers losing the Super Bowl to the Packers, the reaction from Steelers fans was generally like, "Oh, that must have been your guys' Super Bowl. We were actually in one." So, yeah, it feels like kind of a self roast to be saying something like that.
I really don't care.
Okay.
I've roasted myself in the past worse.
Fair enough.
Bro, my freaking teacher, or one of my teachers, is a Bears fan.
How'd that work out?
Not when we played them. Like he forced me to watch the highlights.
That's really funny.
In the classroom.
I'm not gonna lie. That's really funny.
We watched like maybe 3 minutes of it, but nah, bro, it was because it was only the Bears highlights. So everything was pain after pain after pain. Well, and I just had to sit there, and I couldn't do nothing about it. And it was.
That's really funny.
It really wasn't.
Kind of pretty.
It's funny for everybody else watching my pain.
If it makes you feel better, I had a Steelers fan for a teacher in high school. That other than that part, I actually thought he was a pretty cool guy. But I had a Steelers fan teacher in high school, and that was like peak Bengals Steelers like hatred level of rivalry. That was like the peak, the worst it ever got. That was like right after Carson Palmer's injury, and like the Bengals were pretty much trash for my whole high school experience. They did go to the playoffs in my senior year, but then they lost to Mark Sanchez. So
yeah, I mean, bogus teacher. I mean, I think he's like, yeah, he's a cool guy. Like, we hang out, obviously at school and stuff. But it's like, man, and I even told him earlier today because he kept saying the Saints are not going to win Sunday, and I'm like, okay, that's why Aaron Rodgers owns your franchise. And it's like, man, ain't nobody worried about Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he's not wrong, but
I'm kind of curious as to what Aaron Rodgers has to do with you.
But it was my best comeback. I don't know what you want from me.
I suppose. At least you guys beat the Colts in the Super Bowl. Bears couldn't do that.
All right. Well, Jonah says Vontaze Burfict versus Antonio Brown days. LMAO.
No, that was not that. That was
like
that was after I graduated college. Actually,
that was like the 2015 era.
Yeah, I'm talking about like 2007. Like the don't get me wrong, the Vontaze Burfict days, like there was like vitriol between the Bengals and Steelers, but it was like you could cut the tension with a fucking knife in the late 2000s between the Bengals and Steelers. And that was like also peak Steelers arrogance too. So it's like maybe I'm saying that as a biased perspective from a Bengals fan because I remember how much we hated the Steelers at that time, but also I think the Steelers fans mostly saw us as a joke at that time. Like,
Yeah.
Like it was, but that was definitely the most hatred I ever felt for the Steelers. And I've hated the Steelers. I'm a professional Pittsburgh Steelers hater, but I think it was the absolute worst when I was like in high school.
Yeah. Jonah also asked how old are we? Well, I'm 16. What about you, Kyle?
I'm 33, 34. I think I'm 34.
Okay.
Well,
Well, Jonah said he hates the Steelers. Glad that they won versus them in the Super Bowl back in 2010 to 11. Cool. Y'all won the Super Bowl right after we did. So
when the Steelers lost the Super Bowl, Jonah, you don't know this about me, but I had brain surgery in like at the tail end of 2010, and I was actually in the hospital recovering when the Steelers played the Packers in the Super Bowl, and the very instant that the Steelers lost that Super Bowl, I immediately started getting better. I'm not joking. I'm literally not joking. I'm not. Maybe I'm joking a little bit to say that it was because of that, but I'm not joking that it was like literally like the next day I started getting a lot better.
it's called fate,
I guess. And then the Steelers kind of became like their own version of a joke after that. So it was it was okay.
I've never seen a team become so irrelevant for winning 9 games every single season. It's like they win 9 games every single season, and yet we know they're irrelevant. That's funny.
That's what I'm saying. They're like the Mike Tomlin is the new Jeff Fisher.
Yeah, Jonah said, "Dude, that's awesome, man. Or that's awesome and hilarious. Hope you're doing well now, man." Well, I mean, it's like 15 years later.
Yeah. It's 2025. So yeah, it is 15 years. I'm doing like I still have like some issues with vertigo when I lay down too fast, but other than that, yeah, it was all in the balance center in my brain. So like, I didn't get like really major brain damage, just like a little bit of like I said, a little bit of vertigo issues. But I mean, I made it was really lucky that it happened when I was 19. So I was able to make a full recovery in ways that other people might not be able to because of the age that it happened to them. But it's fine. It worked out. Obviously, I'm here now. So, but thank you, Jonah. Anyway, predictions. So Mikey, I did. Obviously, you did pick the game, so I did record that you're picking the Falcons to win this game.
No, you didn't. That's not what I said.
Yeah, but that's what I wrote, though.
So you're basically writing a whole lie.
So I, unlike Mikey, am going to pick the. Now I'm going to pick the Falcons. So, like Mikey, I'm going to pick the Falcons.
What?
Well, the Saints are really bad. Like, so are the Falcons.
You're over my dead body.
But like, the Saints are really bad.
So is Atlanta.
They're not really bad. They're just mostly.
They have only one more win than we do.
Well, yeah, but they got there in a much different way.
How? They did the same exact thing we did. Pay an old QB millions of dollars, then don't play him, and then draft somebody, and then have a talented running back, and then have a terrible offensive line. They're doing the same thing we did for years.
So the Falcons beat the Bills instead of losing by double digits.
Okay, and we beat the Giants. What's your point?
The Falcons did not lose to Dennis Allen, so that's good.
They didn't play Dennis Allen.
Well, that's true, but they obviously like overtime is the thing. But I mean, they came very close to winning both of their last 2 games. I can't tell you the last time I thought the Saints were going to win a game.
I can.
Okay, other than their most recent game where they beat the Panthers. Okay, cool. But like
the Saints have played most of their games close. Let's look at it. Cardinals, you lose by 7. 49ers lose by 5. Seahawks was a total blowout. Not going to deny that. Bills, it was close for most of that game. The Patriots, you only lost by 6. The Giants, you won. The Bears, you only lost by 2 scores. The Buccaneers, even though you lost by 20, you had every opportunity to win that game. And so, like, the Saints, like, they really could be like a 4 or 5 win team right now. I know that's still dog water, but I'm just saying we would not be this bad if life wasn't unfair.
Well, but perhaps it is, though, is kind of my point. You could make all of the same arguments about the Falcons, except much closer than that. They lost to the Patriots by 1 point.
But you see, they're Atlanta. They get no benefit of the doubt. They have no Super Bowl.
Okay. Now they did. I will say, in your defense, they did get obliterated by the Dolphins. That's a real thing.
We didn't do that.
That's a real thing that really happened, and that was at a time when the Falcons were like looking like kind of maybe a up and coming team. You know, like they were coming off a loss to the 49ers, but like they had beaten the Bills, they'd beaten the Commanders. They got shut out by the Panthers. So it's been an up and down.
We even beat the Panthers.
But that's my thing though. It's been you could argue for this Falcons, it's been an up and down season. For the Saints, I don't think you can argue that it's been an up and down season. It's been like there was that they most recently beat the Panthers, but prior to that they won 1 game against Russell Wilson. So
and Atlanta's on. No, we beat Jackson Dart.
Yeah, but I'm choosing to say it was Russell Wilson.
Then you're choosing to say a lie. And I'm choosing to say that the Steelers have more Super Bowls than the Bengals do. And you don't like that now, do you? I'm choosing to say that you're actually a Steelers fan.
Okay, so that's actually a lie. But the comment about the Steelers having more Super Bowl rings than the Bengals, that's like actually true. So that's different than the things you were saying before, which were just not true.
No, I'm not going to sit here and get denied by a Bengals fan. You see, the Saints do everything to piss me off. That is true. But another thing that proves my point and proves my innocence is that, boy, Atlanta just suck, man. So, like, the Saints, like, y'all can say how bad the Saints are. We knew we were going to be bad. We knew we were going to be the most pathetic team on earth. We came into the season knowing that the Saints were going to be some trash. Atlanta fans, they thought they were going to win the damn division.
Okay, so you can laugh at the Falcons fans if you want. That's totally your right to do so. None of that proves in any way, shape, or form to me that the Saints are going to beat the Falcons, though.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't mean a damn thing for anybody.
Huh?
Well, okay, so those are actually some fair points. Okay, you didn't say those things before. You were just like, Falcons fans are dumb. And I'm like, okay, they're not the ones playing the game, though.
Like, even though we did release Brandon Cooks, he wasn't doing nothing anyway. So, if anything, that might be an advantage for us.
Okay, so Mikey's taking the Falcons, I see.
Lord, I swear on everything that's holy. You say that one more time, I will find your address.
You know what? After that rant you went on about me and the Steelers earlier, you deserve it.
Fair point.
Okay. Anyway, moving on. So that's all the predictions that we have for this week, guys. We're going to go ahead and move on, and we'll see you next week.
Patriots beat the Bengals, by the way.
We don't have to talk about that game.
No, we do.
No, we don't have to talk about that game.
Well, we do know.
But we don't have to. We could I'm just saying we're autonomous human beings and we both live in a free country.
You've made me talk about 8 losses we've had this season. I will rejoice in your pain just like you rejoice in mine.
Well, we had to talk about all 7 of our losses, so I mean, like, it's not that much better.
What's 7 plus 1?
8.
So you would agree 8 is more than 7. So therefore, the Saints have more losses than you. So therefore, the only team that can complain more than we can is the damn Titans.
Right. None of that was my point.
I don't care what's your point.
I'm not even entirely sure I remember what my point was now.
We can't score no points, so why should I listen to your point?
So then why do you think they're going to beat the Falcons?
because we're going to score points.
So, yeah, the Bengals are going to lose.
Someone's realistic with this team.
Are you not?
I'm realistic for my team.
Okay, wait. So what did you say? What did you? Did you say at least someone's realistic for his team or this team?
For whatever I said.
Okay, because I didn't. I thought I heard you say at least someone's realistic for this team, and I'm like, I think you've been pretty realistic with the Bengals all year.
Well, Jonah, the Bengals play the Patriots this week. Yeah.
Yeah, the Bengals play the Patriots, and it's pretty much like, I mean, it already would be a massive long shot for us to do anything this season, but this is like, it kind of felt like the Steelers game was our last chance, but this is really the last chance. This is like, we lose this game, it would literally be like, like technically it's funny. The Bengals realistically could win this division at 8-9. Like it could be done. You know, the most unrealistic part of that is the Bengals getting to 8-9. Honestly. But if the Bengals get to 8-9, it seems like a realistic way for the Bengals to get to 8-9 is by sweeping the Ravens, because the Ravens defense is bad, and you know, Lamar Jackson's been hurt all year, and who knows what's going to be going on with that. And we got Joe Burrow coming back. So whether you want to think it's realistic for the Bengals sweep the Ravens or not, it might be more realistic to think that we're going to do that than that we're going to win any other game this season. You know, I mean, like, maybe, I mean, we'll beat the Browns, but like, I mean, like, I want to believe we're going to beat the Dolphins and the Cardinals. I don't know if I entirely do. Like I said, we'll beat the Browns, but that's like, you know, that's like,
if it makes you feel better,
winning a fight with a third grader.
Well, here's something that might make you feel better. Jonah said the Patriots are going to whoop. LOL.
It doesn't make me feel better, but I agree with Jonah. Like, obviously, like I want to, like, I know I'm not trying to say Madden reflects real life, but I was talking about it earlier, and I tried playing a Madden game to get a preview of what maybe, you know, it might kind of look like, and good Lord, it was just impossible to play with this defense. Which is kind of because, like, I remember playing that Madden game, and I was like, I couldn't do a damn thing on defense the whole game, and I was just like, God, it's like watching the Bengals. It really was. It really felt like exactly like watching the Bengals. That's how bad it was. Like, that's how bad it is watching the Bengals.
What he said.
Right. So, fuck. Is basically my point. Like essentially, my whole perspective on all of this is fuck. This whole season has been fuck. It's been a bad, unpleasant season, and it has been probably funny to many of you who watch the show to watch me and Mikey both writhe in pain.
Well, if Joe Burrow or Joe Flacco end up going down for the season, we have another quarterback you could have. His name is Chris Olave.
He might be better at defense than anybody we have on defense. No, I take that back. This in the craziness of how awful, in like the absolute like wasteland that our defense has been this season. Believe it or not, there have actually been a couple of bright spots. So like Dax Hill has finally showed up as like a arguably reliable player on our defense. Like he's like a nickel cornerback, you know, not exactly like, you know, a superstar or anything like that. But like compared to what he looked like through most of his like career up to this point, Dax Hill actually looks like he could potentially be like a contributor to this team in the future, and he has not been up to this point in his career, which is a nice thing to see. DJ Turner looks to have really developed there at cornerback, which is nice. Cam Taylor-Britt has taken the exact opposite direction. So we've essentially netted zero when it comes to the cornerback room, but at least we have one guy who looks halfway decent, and Josh Newton is okay. And then like Miles Murphy has taken not enough of a step probably, but Miles Murphy and Joseph Osai seem to both have taken somewhat of a step at defensive end. So I mean, like there are a couple of things. It's like, man, yeah, you could kind of build with that, but like the overall product of this defense is so awful. Like I'm pretty sure. I don't know if they could tackle an ice cream cone,
especially without the cone.
Well, right. I mean, like I don't know if they could tackle like. I don't know if they could tackle Goku, and he's a fictional character. Like no. I mean, I guess technically that's a bad example because like you can't actually tackle a fictional character because they don't exist. So, but they would probably they might struggle with bringing him like if he was running through them even as a fictional character who does not have mass in the real world, they probably still would struggle to bring him down. Like Goku would probably get at least 10 yards on this Bengals defense, despite the fact that Goku is a cartoon. That's how bad they are. I'm serious.
I mean, Jonah said at least we aren't Titan fans, which I guess that is true. I think the Saints probably even have more of a bright future than Tennessee does. But
I actually do agree with that. Like, because at the very least, you guys have like two quarterbacks with some vague semblance of hope. Not much, but it's like, you could say either Spencer Rattler or Tyler Shuck are developable. Not, I mean, neither of them are going to be superstars, but like you could put, a really great roster around those two guys, and they might be able to win. They might be able to take your team to the playoffs at the very least. But the Titans, like, maybe you could argue that with Cam Ward, but like we haven't seen it, and there's just no reason to say anything like that yet.
Jonah said that's brutal about the Goku thing.
It's true. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure like Billy from the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy would like drop 40 on this team.
But I'm pretty sure, and I've said this all season, I'm pretty sure a parts car with no wheels could run right through y'all.
I think Barney would catch like a one-handed catch on like Geno Stone, like a first touchdown.
I bet Dora the Explorer. Dora the Explorer would probably get some action going on.
I feel like the Bengals defense would drop 40 on the Bengals defense. That's how bad. Like I think the defense would be better at playing offense. That's how bad they are.
Geno Stone takes a snap, and Geno Stone throws, and the pass is caught. Jordan batting for the touchdown.
I think Geno Stone would be a better quarterback than a safety. I'm not gonna lie.
That's crazy. That's funny.
I think Drew Brees, at his current age, would do a better job in coverage than either of the safeties. I think Drew Brees would have tackled Darnell Washington earlier in that play against the Steelers.
I mean, Drew Brees can't even use his hips anymore. So
that's what I know. Like I think Stephen Hawking would tackle somebody faster than the Bengals defense.
Who?
Stephen Hawking. He's the like famous physicist who's got like a major neurodegenerative disease, and so he's like he's like permanently in like a wheelchair, and he can't actually move any part of his body, but he has like some sort of invention that like his brain's hooked up to the wheelchair, and he like speaks through like a Macintosh computer voice.
Oh, so he's like what Steve Gleason does.
I didn't know that Steve Gleason has that issue, but I think I'm somewhat familiar with what you're talking about. So yes, I think Steve Gleason would do a better job tackling than the Bengals defense.
Do you remember who blocked the punt against Atlanta?
No.
It was Steve Gleason. Man, I'm telling you, when the Saints returned home after Katrina, he was flying to that football.
I mean, I know he was a big, he was like a big deal for the Saints for a little bit.
They even made that a statue outside the Superdome.
Right. I think who's that one baseball player with a disease named after him?
Why am I thinking about Babe Ruth right now?
It's not Babe Ruth.
Okay.
No.
I don't watch baseball. That's like the only baseball player I know.
But that's like super old school baseball player. These days he's more known for the disease than he is for baseball.
Oh, that's not very nice to be known for.
Right, and he's like a Hall of Fame baseball player too. Lou Gehrig's disease. Yeah, Lou Gehrig. I'm pretty sure Lou Gehrig would be better at tackling than the Bengals defense. And Lou Gehrig, I don't know if you knew this, but Lou Gehrig has been dead since 1941.
Did he die from the Lou Gehrig disease?
Yeah, that's how it got its name.
Oh.
But he died in 1941. And it was like 2 years after he retired from baseball, I'm guessing probably because of the disease. Up until that point, he was a 7-time All-Star, 6-time world champion with the Yankees. He won a Triple Crown in 1934. He was the 2-time American League MVP. Yeah, like Lou Gehrig was the fucking man, and then he got Lou Gehrig's disease, and he, I'm guessing retired because of it, and then died 2 years later.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's not nice, but like I said, I think he would currently tackle better than the Bengals defense, and he's been dead for 80 years.
I mean, old is gold, right?
I think I would tackle, and this might. Well, no, I'm not that stupid. I was gonna say this might not even be a joke, but I mean, okay, like I'm not actually stupid. I don't actually think that I would tackle better than an NFL player because, like, that. Believe it or not, the Bengals have recorded some tackles this year. I don't know if you know this, but like if you look on the stat sheet, there are tackles that have been recorded by Bengals players this year. If I was on the football field, I don't think I would get one. And in fact, I know I wouldn't get one. I would probably die. And instead of tackle, I would probably just die. So, in genuineness would not tackle better than the Bengals. But to anecdotally explain how bad this Bengals defense is, I wouldn't be shocked if I got more tackles than the Bengals defense this year. Well, not the whole defense, but like I wouldn't be shocked if I was able to stop Darnell Washington faster than the Bengals stopped him on that play. Mostly because like I might have just tripped him, and then the penalty yardage would have been less than the yardage he got.
Interesting.
Like I might not be able to actually tackle him, but I can probably like kick him in the nuts or something, right?
Yeah, your defense probably can't even blow out a freaking birthday candle.
Right, exactly. Like it's so fucking depressing because like I was so excited this offseason. I was like, oh man, like it really kind of feels like, it took them forever this offseason, but they hit all the notes. It took forever to get Trey Hendrickson under contract, but they did it. It really kind of feels like, this is the team that's got like all the pieces and they just got to fuck Joe Burrow's hurt.
All right, well, Jonah said Darnell Washington just came out and said he's over 300 pounds as a tight end. That's crazy.
Yeah, Darnell Washington's a big guy. I'm not surprised to hear that.
Yeah, he's almost as big as me.
I think he might be slightly bigger, but fair enough. How tall are you?
6'1".
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
You didn't know that?
You don't look 6'1" on camera.
Well,
I don't know how you would gauge that. I don't know. I always like assumed you were like 5'7" or some shit.
Nah, I used
You're
to
like
be 5'11".
You're almost as tall as me then. Damn.
Yeah, I'm 6'1".
Wow. Well, that's new.
Yeah, I mean, I'm taller than like both of my parents, so I'd just be looking down.
Let's see. I have roughly the exact same measurement. No, wait, no, never mind. Hold on one sec. Okay, there we go. I have roughly the exact same measurements as Andy Dalton.
Interesting.
Yep, 6'2". He's 220. I'm a little heavier than that. Although for him, I would imagine it's like all muscle. For me, it's definitely not. But yeah, other than that, I think Andy Dalton used to be a little heavier.
I know.
I also used to be a little heavier too. So, although I would say probably around like when he was playing for the Bengals, me and him were probably about roughly the same size. Except again, he was mostly muscle, and I'm not. Never have been. We're also pretty close to the same age. He's a little older than me, but
yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, now that we've gotten thoroughly off track, I don't even know how long we've been fucking streaming, but probably way too long.
105 minutes.
Oh, that's not as bad as I thought it was. So it's only been like an hour and a half then.
Well,
not even an hour and a half technically.
No, it's an hour and 45 minutes.
Oh, right. Okay. So an hour and a half is 90. You're right. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, hour 45. That's probably longer than the podcast needs to be, but not too bad. So anyway, that's, I think, you got anything else to say about the Saints or the Bengals?
Man. That's it.
Okay. I don't really want to talk about the Bengals anymore. I just do it because like don't have that much of a I mean, I guess I could just not do it. I could just not talk about the Bengals. It's like my channel. I could technically just completely start making content about something else entirely, but I don't even know what the fuck else I'd make content about. Like, I don't know anything like I know football. Like, I have other interests. Like, I'm really into like certain kinds of music. I'm very knowledgeable about politics. I don't really like talking about it because it's so depressing most of the time. But like, I like music. I like some other sports and stuff like that. But I don't know if I know anything and also enjoy anything like football. I don't know if I could do content on anything else. I don't know if I'm both an expert and interested enough in anything else to do content on anything else.
Yeah.
Maybe I could do music, but even then, like, I'm just not really like on the ground level with the scene most of the time.
Uh-huh.
Plus, that feels like a lot of work. Anyway, yeah. We'll see y'all next week. Hopefully, actually on Thursday, because I don't think I have anything.
Well, no, next week is the Thanksgiving games.
Oh yeah. So, do the Saints play on Thanksgiving?
No.
Okay. Well, we do. So, but I'm not going to be streaming on Thanksgiving. Sorry, guys. So I guess I'll be skipping the Bengals game this week. I didn't even think about that. No, that's next week. So like this week, the Bengals play the Patriots on Sunday. We'll play the Ravens. So I guess I'll be skipping the Ravens game. I'll be watching the Ravens game, but I won't be streaming it. So, and so I guess we'll do the podcast on Friday next week too, or something. I don't know.
Yeah. No, the next Thursday game we'll probably be streaming will probably be Lions Cowboys. I think that's the game that's after Thanksgiving.
Wait, Lions Cowboys isn't on Thanksgiving. Lions Cowboys. No, never mind. Lions Cowboys always play on Thanksgiving, but not each other.
Yeah, well, I know on Thanksgiving, Lions play the Packers, the Cowboys are playing the Chiefs, and Bengals playing the Ravens.
Yeah.
And then the week after that, Lions.
It could have been a way way more interesting Thanksgiving game. And I guess technically it could still be if the Bengals do beat the Patriots, which feels like a massive long shot. But if the Bengals do beat the Patriots and the Ravens lose, I guess even if the Ravens don't lose, if the Bengals beat the Patriots, the Bengals-Ravens game the following week could be very interesting, especially if Joe Burrow is indeed back. But when I say very interesting, I'm maybe not very interesting, just kind of interesting. It won't be interesting at all if the Bengals lose to the Patriots. It'll be virtually negligible. But if the Bengals do beat the Patriots, then there's at least that like there's going to be like this like weird pervasive feeling of hope that almost nobody actually like wants to admit that they have, but will be there. I promise you, it will be there.
Yep.
So anyway, that's pretty much it for us this week. I'll leave y'all against my better judgment with a Who Dey.
Who Dat?
All right. There it is. Yeah, sorry about yesterday. And not as in I'm sorry I missed yesterday. Sorry I didn't tell you soon. I meant to tell you during the like when we were recording the preview show in the power. I slipped my mind.
It's all good. I understand how life be. You're good.
All right. Well, I will see you, I guess, on Friday or whatever. Unless you're in my chat on Sunday, but other than that, I'll see you on. So I guess like Wednesday because we still got to do the show.
Yeah.
I guess I'll see you Wednesday.
And the Saints play at 3:00, so I can.
There you go.
See you.